Hello and welcome to another episode of Mr. Das P1's Airgun Corner. And today I've got a unique air rifle. It is British made. It is an absolute work of art. It's made by a gunsmith from Lancashire. He used to own a gun shop called Target Technics in Accrington. And the inventor, the creator of this air gun is Richard Spencer. The shop doesn't exist anymore. I think it's now probably like a hairdresser's. But in its day, this was revolutionary. I think it's a fantastic air gun. And the air rifle is the Air Logic Genesis. I do have some information based on this rifle, which was lurking in a corner. And I've been lucky enough to borrow it just for today to show you what it's all about. The Genesis air rifle was only made in a small batch really. When the air rifles were made, they were all handmade by Richard in his workshop. The work on these air rifles is absolutely fantastic. It is British engineering at its best. The stock is custom walnut, is an absolute beautiful piece of wood. Every rifle had a beautiful piece of wood with it. The engineering side of things, just second to none, and very technically well put together. And there's not that many people who can actually take these things apart. They normally come with something like this, and bearing in mind it was around 1987 when it was being made, it is still today just right up there with the technology. It's single stroke pneumatic. There's one big effort to cock the rifle. I'll show you all this later. The main thing is it's totally recoilless. You pull the trigger, pop, nothing else, just one. And I do know that Richard wanted to try and guarantee these rifles to be really accurate, and also using the right pellet, he wanted to guarantee a very consistent feet per second from the end of the muzzle. So basically the Genesis air weapon system, it says here, it incorporates today's most advanced technologies and represents the ultimate in recoilless air weapons. And that's going back 30 years ago. I don't think anyone's actually beaten it since. I've heard that 178 were made. I've also read that 175 were actually made and numbered. There will be one unique one, which is a 177 version, which was Richard's own personal air rifle. And maybe another person has converted theirs to a 177. The one that I'm going to show you today is absolutely unique, and there's a reason why. Whenever you get these rifles, they all come with a number, and this rifle today, I can't find a number on it. The number is normally just at the bottom of the barrel where it meets the stock. So anyway, let's have a look at this rifle. And believe me, it is an absolute beautiful piece of art, and I will say that all the time about it. I know it's meant for field target shooting, but at the end of the day, if you own one of these, you're more than likely going to be a collector rather than somebody who wants to go out shooting it in all weathers. Now this one comes in its own flight case, but normally they come in a box, a simple cardboard box, and it'll be blue across the top here, and I'll show you some images of a box, because that does add value to the collection. But before we take it out of the case, let's have a look at earlier in the workshop where I gave it some TLC. got a really nice sling to it there. Really strong piece of leather there. Nice details with deers on it. The scope is a 4:16 by 40 Tasco. It came with the rifle and it's actually mounted on, I think this came with the rifle, the actual Air Logic scope mount. There's some nice personal touches. I think that the inventor, the creator of this, did himself. You can see there that's not standard, and we've got an adjustable butt here. The angle of the cheek piece is slightly to the favour of the right-handed shooter. I think it's got a 5-degree cast on it. What else I can tell you about this rifle is it has actually been tuned by Mr. J.R. Spencer, and there's some paperwork to verify that. It says serviced and tuned, 1 Genesis, price in full was £100 with thanks, and there's the signature of the gunsmith himself, and it's probably one of only 4 Genesises to have had this kind of service. It's got a special new valve system fitted, so it is really, really unique. It's bolt action. That is a lovely action, and the main thing with all the working parts throughout this rifle is to use Duckums. Just use a motor oil, so it'll work in cold conditions and warm conditions. It's always going to be lubed nicely. As you can see there though, that's a nice action. But the main feature with this rifle, there is no number there. Now I have taken off the stock earlier and there are some initials under there, and it does say XJRS. So this was the original rifle. I believe it was the blueprint model. So the rest of them, the other 175, 178 of them, were all based on this actual rifle. So I need to be very careful with it today and make sure it gets no dings or scratches. So in the user manual you get a nice schematic assembly diagram. I've got a few of these with it. Cocking is one of the main features of this rifle. You have to master how to cock it, and it comes with some spare seals there, again with Target Technics, Warley Road, Accrington on there. And just a quick look at some of the information. What we've got here, it's saying we've got single stroke pneumatic, completely without recoil, revolutionary compression system, bolt action sliding barrel and a built-in silencer. It's got an adjustable custom walnut stock with a 2-stage 4-way adjustable trigger with a Walther precision barrel, maximum power and incredible accuracy. Obviously made in Britain. It weighs 9.5 pounds. This one is a caliber .22. It's saying here we've got a length of 46 inches carbine and the barrel length is 18 inches carbine. And the Genesis, it incorporates the famous Whisperer black hole concept by using the whole capacity of the barrel sleeve, and the sound emission is dramatically reduced. The Walther barrel is an 8-groove barrel with a special twist and is choked at the muzzle for extra fine precision shooting. Okay, I will show you how to cock it. Got a nice big lever here. The trick is you pull it all the way back to there, and the slight one of them now is ready to be primed, and get it close in to your body. It's now ready. So as you can see, we're going to fire from here, just up range, probably about 20 metres, 25 metres tops, that's all I need. And the pellets we'll be using today are Ely Wasp. We'll try them first of all anyway. Okay, it's good to go. Let's just go and see if the scope is all set up. Let's go and see how we've done. Okay, I'm looking at the groupings now and I'll show you how they look. That's 10 shots. Obviously I've not fired this rifle and set it up, so this is the first time I've fired it at this range, and them groupings for where I am at with air rifle shooting are excellent. That's 10 shots. Just a quick close-up there, whether you can make it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just so good, that group in there. I just need to tweak it now, pull it across more to the left. But my initial impressions are pretty good, pretty damn good for a 30-year-old rifle. I've just took the target away, and these are all the previous shots that I've done on my other videos, but looking at that there from the Genesis, I have actually got quite a bit of an indentation there. So that is 11.9 foot-pound. You know, I've not got no chronograph, but when this rifle was serviced, it was to fire at bang on probably 11.9 foot-pound. Some of the other rifles that I've used, they're not making as much of an impression. See there, bulging out the back. Okay, I'm happy with the elevation, just the windage, so I need to just make it come across to the left about 1 inch. Well, the groupings are very good. Maybe a bit more across to the left, maybe slightly higher. That's the previous target. Got a very similar spread. So I think we'll tweak it a touch more and we'll see what happens. Let's go and see what that final 10 shots was like. Well, as you can see, that is getting better. Still love the groupings there, really like the groupings. I've got a lot of breeze today and I am shooting kind of just from my own sort of a squatted down stance. I've nothing to keep it really steady, but the moment that the pellet leaves this barrel, it's going one place. Again, very similar groupings, just in the better target zone now. It does seem to like these Ely wasps. One thing I do want to stress is that I do not practice my shooting, I don't train. I get an air rifle that's been lurking in a corner and if that rifle lets me do that, somebody who knows what they're doing could really get some super tight groupings on there. Okay, I'm really pleased with that for a grouping. I am absolutely amazed at what that rifle can do. So that's my final 10 shots there. Couple just off, but the groupings are getting better. And you know, you've got to bear in mind, it's quite a tough rifle to cock. You use a lot of energy, a lot of effort. It's a heavy rifle, so if you take your time with the shots, I'm sure you can get them groupings tighter as well. We're going to try it now with some Webley mosquitoes. They're quite an old pellet now, I've had them a long time, and as you can see there's a lot of dust on them, on my fingers there. I've just fired off 10 more shots with them Webley mosquitoes. Ignore them and them, because that's where I've had different mounts on the rifle to get the shot, so I can't quite see the scope. But again, really nice tight grouping there with some different pellets. Like it a lot. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time shooting this air rifle. It's super accurate. It is a piece of British engineering in its finest form. A true craftsman has made this with his bare hands. It is a collector's rifle, so really, do I want to be out here shooting this? Well, it was designed to be shot, but at the same time you've got to be careful with them because nobody else can fix them really today, so just look after these things. And if I'm getting groupings like this, like that, and like that, it makes it a good afternoon out. You feel like you've had a good session with an air rifle. So my overall impressions are, if you see one and you've got a bit of cash floating about, buy one. They probably come in at around £700 today. You may see the odd one go for £950. Rumours are that they could fetch £1,000, but when they first came out, I think you'd be looking at about £450 to £475 a long time ago. So they're nearly doubling in price. They're the kind of rifle that you would buy and put away. I think this one's been bought a long time ago and put away, and as soon as I finish using it, I'm going to oil it and make sure it goes back into a corner where it was found. The Genesis Air Logic 2.2 rifle. Thank you for watching. And if you like these videos where I go shooting old air rifles from the 80s, let me know and I'll see what else I can do, because I'll be looking for more air rifles that are lurking in corners. Until the next time.